Okay, this is a picture of the Vatican Basilica. And in Latin, the word means tribunal chamber of a king. And it describes an open Roman public court building, usually located adjacent to the forum of a Roman town. Okay. They have basilicas for the Virgin Mary, or just a church, a Catholic church is named a basilica. Basilica is similar to the basilisk. What I told you before about the basilisk, uh, it basically means in Greek, little king. The basilisk is what was worshipped by the Phoenicians. It was the symbol of the dragon and serpent. The dragon and the serpent are synonymous. It's a reptilian. This is the symbol of the Phoenicians. Obviously, from everything I've told you in my research, these religions come from the worship of the ancient Phoenicians, and all of their architecture and symbolism and religion comes from them, and the symbol of the dragon or the serpent, the basilisk. Now here's a picture of the floor plan of the Basilica of Maxentinus and Constantine. You see the pillars. And then here is a picture of a Gothic basilica. You've got the pillars and then a middle pillar. This is Kabbalah. And I've told you Kabbalah started off with the two pillars of fire and wind from Usus out of Phoenicia. He was worshiping the elements of fire and wind and pouring blood on the pillars and making sacrifices to the elements. The Jews basically built upon this two-pillar system and put Sephiroth in, which represents their gods and goddesses, even though they try and claim that they're monotheistic, but they're liars. Their gods, their god goes back to the Phoenicians, Cronus and Zeus and all of them. They lie. And they take this pillar schematic and they use it in all of their architecture, and the symbols of these gods and goddesses is all over the place in your advertisements, in your music industry, in your movies. Let me show you the picture I took of the Kabbalah being carved in marble in a basilica in New York. Okay, look at it. Make the screen bigger if you can't see it. It doesn't get much more obvious than that. Next to this ancient Gothic cathedral was a children's garden with Satan hanging upside down. Absolutely ridiculous. It's up in your face. Now here's the Vatican with the obelisk in the keyhole, and obelisk is a penis symbol, and that whole setup tracks the equinoxes and solstices. It's a calendar and a symbol of the penis of Osiris and the vagina of Isis. That bloodline, the pharaonic bloodline, that's what they're about, these cronides. And so here is a picture of a basilisk, and it comes from Thoth. He's also a Braxis. He has the rooster head on the serpent body. That's a symbolism. I did another video on that. Now, I'm not going to just rip on the Vatican or Catholicism because the Muslims are just as guilty. You've seen my videos about the Ashlar cube. It's a Freemasonic symbol that the people give their rights over to the state that's controlled by the elite, and they worship this black stone, which is a meteor. Who found the meteor? Ashtaroth. I've told you that from the writings of St. Jonathan. What is the shape of this black stone that the men of Islam go up and kiss? It's a vagina. It's a vesica piscis. This is what you worship. Okay, they were your creators because they used sexual reproduction and they were prolific breeders. They created many bloodlines, and that is how they created you. All of this alien stuff and all that, put that to the side. I have to see, like I said, some real proof of that, and that it's not a psyops or an underground experiment. You know, in World War II, they had a Russian guy trying to make a human-ape hybrid army for the Russians, and he was inseminating apes with his own sperm, and they had to stop him. And some say he did it. He actually made some, and they had to destroy it. So who the heck knows what they're doing underground to create some of these weird creatures? But these Phoenicians were giant humans. They considered themselves a different race because of their stature. They were Caucasoid, and they mated with all of the people in Europe. And, you know, the Europeans descend from them, the Semites descend from them, some of the Hindus probably because they were into India, possibly some of the Asians, all over the Americas. You know, as they mated with people outside their race, they created half breeds, and those were the Nephilim, who consider themselves above the average human, and those were the ones that were abusing, you know, the people and sacrificing and eating them. But they were giants. So this is what you're worshiping, you know, and we'll see how many people get angry, but it's time for you to open your eyes. This stuff has to go. They're cults. These are cults of the ancient giant Phoenicians. That's what they are. Some of these people were very good, and they try to uplift our condition. Some of them were not. Thank you. That's it.